Hello dear students, how are you doing? I hope you guys are doing fine. So this is the day when we begin our new paper, print media. I hope all the other teachers have already started and I am joining in. So most of the students, when they actually opt for this course BA Functional English, many of them would have the intentions of pursuing either mass communication or journalism in the future. So for those people, the kind of concepts that we will be discussing, at least some of them would be very familiar, but we will try to make it more interesting by making it a bit more interactive and associating these concepts with our contemporary lives. So media is very important in our lives. How do you understand the significance of media in our lives? Especially, it is very easy to identify how important the role of media is in our everyday life presently. That is, the kind of anxiety you would have on an everyday scale would depend on the number of COVID cases which have been reported to you through the media. Every single day, whatever the media represents about the disease becomes a yardstick of how tense or anxious you are about the disease. So you understand that media actually has a very significant role in shaping your everyday lives. Probably 2 or 3 months ago, when the media had started reporting lower death cases or positive cases in the COVID scenario, we were a bit more peaceful. We had started bringing our lives back to normal. Our minds were gradually letting off the grip of the pandemic, but suddenly there are more reports of cases, and you have started watching the news, and you have this very tense situation which is being presented to you. So again, your life is becoming very tense and you have anxieties regarding the disease. So you understand that how deeply does these messages affect an individual, affect their personal relationships, their personal and social lives. Not just that, every single day there are a lot of things that are happening in the society, and the political scenario keeps on changing, and these incidents directly or indirectly somehow influence or somehow affect your lives. Whether it be the petrol price hike or whether it be the elections, they somehow eventually end up having an impact on your life. The government that was elected and the kind of economic policies that they will bring up would definitely affect you as a consumer, you as a citizen. Or imagine that you have a very restrictive kind of a government. It will definitely curb your freedom of speech and your choices. So the kind of things that are happening around are very significant to every single individual. Don't think that all these political happenings or everything that is happening in the society does not have any impact on your personal life. That's not the case. Knowingly or unknowingly, every single aspect of your life is actually determined by all these things happening around. So this is where the role of journalism becomes more and more significant. So first of all, we will begin with the basic definition of journalism. So what actually is journalism? According to the American Press Institute, journalism is the gathering, assessing, creating, and presenting of news and information. Journalism is the activity of gathering, assessing, creating, and presenting news and information. And also the product of this process is also termed journalism. So a journalist gathers and then they disseminate information. Gathering and dissemination of information is very important. And in between, there is a kind of editing that happens. There is a kind of intervention in the representation that happens. That is where ethics comes in. So media is expected to be unbiased, but most of the TV channels these days, newspapers these days, not most of them, but a great share of them have been showing us that it is not that way. There are specific TV channels which are very much in favor of certain political parties or communities. There are certain newspapers which are owned by certain political parties and publish news in their favor. So it becomes very difficult as a citizen to trust a news item or something that is shared on the media. And of course, social media keeps on building up into this huge repertoire of information production and dissemination. So this question of objectivity is very significant. So it was Thomas Carlyle, the Victorian writer Thomas Carlyle, who called media as the fourth estate. He thought that media has this duty to stand as a watchdog to the democracy. So media should be the greatest critic of the government. They should be the ones pointing out the flaws in the society and acting as a kind of corrective force. So what are the four pillars of democracy which we have learned? The parliament, the executive, the judiciary, and finally the press. Last but not the least. So the role of the press in the administrative process or in administering a nation is very significant. So the freedom of the press to criticize is also very significant. So imagine that you eventually end up being a journalist. What will be the things that you will have to do? You will have to collect information, you will have to assess information. Even there, your biases or prejudices may come in. You would have to be very watchful of that. You would think, are my personal prejudices or biases coming in, or are the publishers' personal prejudices or biases coming in here? You have to ask this question continuously if you're a journalist. So gathering information and assessing information, and then creating a representation of this information in the form of an article, a news story, or in some other broadcast or social media. Nowadays, even Twitter accounts act as news portals. So the way in which news is disseminated is being transformed on an everyday scale. So the way in which people access news is also changing. It's very easy for people to be cheated by fake news or clickbaits. If somebody has really good editing skills or has the technical knowledge to create a visually authentic piece of news, it's very much possible that this news will get circulated and might cause a lot of problems. It will be only very later that it will be identified that it was a fake news. So in this era, the role of journalism is more and more prominent. So what is the very first duty of a journalist? He should be a committed observer. He or she or a transgender, whoever it is, one should be a very committed observer of the society. There are certain values by which a democracy functions. Sticking to those values, one should observe the democratic system around, the society around, and see what are the flaws there, or what are the important things that makes an impact on the general public's life. Is this important enough that I collect it, assess it, and process it and present it in front of the public? Is this thing something that impacts my audience? Or is this significant enough that it has an impact on a larger community? Or is the right of a community being deprived there? Should I report it? These kinds of questions are things that you would be faced with every day. The society is never ideal. There are problems there. There are positive things there also. So whatever might make an impact on your audience or might be significant to your audience, be watchful for that. Be as observant as one could be. That is a primary requisite for a journalist. And then the process of assessing information. Information is actually multifaceted, one can say. When you are bombarded with an amount of information, you need to process it. That is, what are the kinds of prejudices and biases involved in this bit of information? Could there be another aspect of this piece of information? Could there be an entirely different interpretation of this information? So if I report it this way, what will be the impact of this piece of information? And is this significant to my audiences? All these questions you should ask when you compile a news piece. And in the act of representation or presentation of news also, there is much craft involved. Every word that you choose might actually communicate something entirely different to the general public. The front page of a newspaper or the headline of a newspaper might entirely change the way in which people feel about something. Now, if you have been observing our chief minister's press conferences these days, the way in which he speaks out every word is very important. Imagine that he speaks with very much alarm and fear. Obviously, the general public that watches those press conferences would also be in panic about the situation. But we have been seeing him as giving us proper instructions in a very composed manner, and keeping on repeating that these are things that can be controlled. So everywhere here, the art of representation matters much. Whatever it may be, when it gets represented in a particular way, the impact it would have could be very different. So always articulate your news thinking about the possible impact that it could make, and always consider who your audience is. Is my audience a very select kind of a community, or is my audience a very diverse cultural community? Think of all that, and then assess the news and process the news and present the news. Also, we said that this product of all these activities is also generally termed as journalism. So the fourth estate, or the fourth pillar, is a very essential component in the social fabric, in the democratic social fabric. Now, these are the things that a journalist would do on a regular basis: collect information, process it, and present it in front of the public. And then further on, you can think of more things which are involved in the process of journalism, and the more and more platforms are coming in. Online platforms, online news portals, and social media based news portals. So does that actually change the role of a journalist? Does that actually change the way in which journalism works? You can think of all that. These are topics which might be very interesting for you to look into. So with that, I'll conclude for the time being. In the upcoming classes, we will have further discussions. I am very sure that you would have a lot of agreements and disagreements with the things that I have mentioned here. You can post them all in the comments. Don't worry. You can be as free as you want. Freedom of speech is something that is very significant to us. So whatever comments or additions that you have, you can post either in the Google Classroom or beneath the videos on YouTube. So thank you for listening, guys. Stay safe. Take care.